Hello, we're at the 2013 London International Wine Fair XL. My name's Chris Powell from Local Wine School, and I'm joined here today by Simon Woods from simonwoods.com, or an award-winning wine writer. And Simon, can you tell us a bit more about who you are, what you actually do?
Well, my son was asked about when he was about age 6 at school, what does your dad do? And he said, he spits out wine. And that is in essence what my job is. I taste a lot of wine. I recommend it to people. I try and get people enthused about wine. I write about it, yes, but I also talk about it. I work with various companies, trying to just get them more enthusiastic about wine, because wine's become something that we all now drink, but it's trying to make it something that it's rather than something that's just, ooh, let's have a bottle of wine tonight. It becomes not only more of their everyday eating experiences, but something that when they want to have something that's a little bit special, wine becomes part of that.
Right. And is there anything special that you do? How do you go about making wine appeal to consumers and enthuse them? How do you go about doing that? What's your...
A lot of it used to be through writing. I used to edit the Which Wine Guide. I had a column in the Financial Times. What I'm doing a lot now is getting up and talking to people, and that's good for two reasons. First of all, you get instant feedback from the audience, and you find out what people are really into, what their concerns about wine. Because what I've found is that even though I've been writing about wine for 20 odd years, sometimes maybe the things I've been writing about are not the things that people are really all that interested in. What I'm finding is that the people are, it's not so much I want to learn about this, I want to learn about that. It can be something as simple as, I'm having this tonight, what should I be drinking with it? I enjoy this, where do I go next? So I want to encourage people to explore, but at the same time not take them too far from what they're familiar with.
Okay, so they're comfortable with what they're learning. If you could pass on one nugget, or if someone asked you how could the UK wine trade, how could they better communicate with consumers, what would you say? What's the one thing that they should be doing that they're not doing, or what one thing could they do better, do you think?
There seems to be this divide between the supermarkets and the independents, and they all seem at war with each other. I think that there is the people who I like communicating to are what I call supermarket graduates. They're the people who still buy, because most of the people in the UK, they'll buy their wine at the supermarket. What I want to talk about to those people are those people who have been buying there and they think, what's next? Where do I go next? And so they're still probably buying 2/3 of their wine at the supermarkets, but that extra third, how do I go from one to the other? I think that the supermarkets need to have some sort of recognised way up from their cheap and cheerful, for want of a better term, and then the merchants also, the independent wine merchants, need to have something where people come in and say, I like white Zinfandel, I like Pinot Grigio, and instead of looking down their nose at them like that, they say, great, we have got something that's similar to that. Try that, and then try this. Because that for me is the great thing. Trying two wines side by side. If you like this, why not try that?
Yeah, I think that's great. Great. So it's a bit, in that show, it's about tasting those wines and let them taste those wines and let them learn through tasting different wines.
And I think it's also, it's certainly that, but it's also, if somebody actually says, I prefer the cheap supermarket one, they don't get sniffy about it. They just accept it and don't look down on people. I think that there's quite a lot of people in the wine trade who look down on certain wine drinkers, and I don't think that's useful for anybody. What I want to do is expand the size of the pie. I always think that there's going to be maybe 10% of the people who want to trade up to the next level. If you get more people enthusiastic in wine, then the 10% will still trade up, but it's more numbers, more numbers.